Okay, so
Yes.
welcome everyone. Today we have our guest, Pari. She's here to present branding basics every artist should know. Please be respectful to our host and everyone present. And Pari, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, thank you for the introduction, Angie. Hello, everybody. It's really nice to meet you. It's really nice to be here. My name is Parikrama Rai, and today I'll be hosting a seminar on branding and branding basics that every artist should know. So I myself am I'm a marketer, and I think that it's very good for me to be upfront about the fact that I have marketed for a lot of different types of brands, including in industries that have nothing to do with art. However, I think that from my experience from working with artists when I was working at Victory Art a while back, these are some things that are very crucial for you to know. So it might play out a little bit like a um, business lecture. However, I promise you it will be useful. So I've made a small presentation for everybody for today. And yeah, let's get right into it. So I just want to start. I made a little introductory slide. So as I said, I'm a marketer and we'll be having a little marketing session today. I worked within the art industry. So I was one of the first people who worked at Victory Art. And even though I've left since then, I'm very involved with the company still. And when I was working in Victory Art, I got to work with a lot of amazing artists and I got to learn a lot about their struggles. And so as from what I understand, I know as artists, you guys are very involved in your creative process and creating the best work that you can. However, if you want to create a sustainable career that, practically we all have to live, so you still have to earn some money and stuff. So these are marketing is one of the best ways to actually get your name out there and get yourself known to a lot of different people, like active marketing and not just relying on galleries and other partners that you have. So that's what we're going to focus on today. I myself am an art lover, and I just put down my LinkedIn thing over there just in case if anybody wants to get connected. I would be happy to answer your questions if you reach out to me after the workshop as well. So I want to start by talking about brand itself, like what exactly is a brand. And I have put in a little cow over there. Would anybody like to, I don't know, say like contribute or share what they think is a brand? Okay, we have some. Oh,
I believe everybody could put it in the chat if they would like to, if they don't want to use
yeah,
their voice.
yeah. If you don't want to speak up, like at any point, just put it in the chat. It's completely fine. But okay, let me just go ahead. So a brand comes from the word branding, which comes from livestock branding. Livestock branding is this very old technique of marking livestock so as to identify who the owner is. And while it has been made illegal in a lot of places around the world because it is obviously a very cruel thing to do to animals, it basically summarizes what brand and the process of branding is. So a brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature. In your case, it might be art style, art themes, or whatever it may be, that identifies one seller's goods or services as distinct from other sellers. So I think the important thing to remember over here is the word identifies. So it basically, like this symbol, whatever this is, this abstract thing that we're talking about right now, identifies like you to be the owner of that service. So it could be like anything as distinct as like the Coca-Cola logo, or certain the Nike swish. Those things, you immediately can make a connection that it is connected to that brand, even though you might not like glance at the sneaker for longer than 30 seconds. Or yeah. And then another thing that it does is that it distinguishes your products from other people's products. So that's what a brand does essentially within business. So I want to talk more about what is the difference between a brand and a product, because a lot of people seem to get that mixed up. Because, like Coca-Cola is a very big brand. However, like when people think of Coca-Cola, they might just think of the drink and consider that to be the brand. While that is a part of the brand, the product itself is just something that you sell. So it is just one part of the brand. A brand is the reason why people buy it. So there is a whole history behind cola. There is a Coca-Cola. There is a whole idea behind how it tastes, how it's used in certain occasions, in celebrations. There is a certain familiarity that, like, oh yeah, if you don't know what the other person will drink, maybe this is probably one of the best guesses. So that is the reason why people buy Coca-Cola, not just because of the product itself. So I want to hammer this point in a little bit more. So as you can see over here, there are 4 different types of chocolates. Now, this is quite a popular brand. Lindt is also known to be a premium quality chocolate brand. And then we have some very basic chocolate from our local supermarket over here at Albert Heijn. And then we have very expensive, luxurious chocolates from chocolatiers all over the world. Well, if you really think about it, essentially they are selling the same thing, which is chocolate. However, people's reasons for buying these chocolates, the price points, and everything else is very, very different. So that is what I want you to understand, that just because the product is the same doesn't mean that people will rationally just buy probably the most cheapest one or whatever. People have an idea built up about what the brand represents through the packaging, through their past experiences, through what they've heard from other people, through advertisements, through a lot of other things about what buying this means. Like, for example, maybe for Valentine's Day, if you want to give chocolate to your girlfriend, then maybe you're going to buy her something more high end. But if you are just like rushing to the train and you just want something quick and you're a broke college student, maybe you'll buy something else. So there are people have attached different ideas to maybe the same product, but like according to where they are sold, how they are packaged, they have a different idea of what need the product will satisfy. So there are a couple of ways that brands can differentiate themselves. Obviously, this is more to do with business. So one is obviously the price quality ratio. The more you pay, the better quality you get, like maybe in terms of like maybe for you can say the more experience that you have, the more you are able to charge, the more the larger your patrons, the larger your group of patrons, the more you're able to charge because you've built up a certain reputation. Then there is taste and preference. So over here, as you can see, both products are the same. They're like premium juice, but one is made out of Valencia apples. Oh, sorry, oranges, and the other one is made out of blood oranges. Now, if somebody doesn't want blood orange because they don't like the taste of it or whatever, then this doesn't matter to them. They're just going to go for what they prefer. So there is also a horizontal differentiation between the different tastes and preferences, and that depends on the customer's own tastes or values, you can say as well, because this is a pretty simplistic example. So I want to discuss more about what exactly is branding in of itself. So branding is not just slapping logos on a pen or just like putting your, I don't know, logo on a tote bag and then just calling it branding. That's a very outdated concept of what that means. So branding is a very multi-layered process that really helps build the company's entire identity. So branding branding is something that needs to be considered when you are thinking about what products and services that you will be providing. It needs to be thought about when you're thinking about like partnering up with other companies, partnering up with other organizations for your projects and so on. Like if you, like for example, right now at Victory Art, as an Eastern European artist, it would make sense to be in a platform that promotes Eastern European artists because it fits your profile. Now, if Victory Art had a different objective or like a different brand or a different mission, then maybe it would not have been the right fit company for you to partner up with. Then you will have the company values, the culture, and the mission. So what is the original reason why the company set out to do whatever they set out to do? Please, in terms, think of it also in terms of your art career. So just think of yourself as an artist, basically selling tangible goods. So also think of yourself as a company. And then it also goes down to the advertising. Does the tone, the values, whatever is being communicated resonate with the company? And then finally, we have the marketing positioning. Marketing positioning is where exactly in the market do you lie? Like, where is the price point? What niche group are you serving? What problem are you solving that other competitors who are selling the same product, they are not solving? So this is something that I do in every workshop. This is a very interesting case study that I learned when I was in business school, and it has been stuck in my brain for a very, very, very long time. So basically, there is this organization, Quiddle Corporation, and they are basically looking to create rapid diagnostic tests. And right now, they are focusing specifically on pregnancy tests. So basically, they're thinking about how they can sell these pregnancy tests in the most effective manner. So when they did market research, they found two groups of women who would use this product. We've called them hopefuls and fearfuls. So hopefuls are women who are possibly pregnant between age 16 to 42. That's same in both groups. And their income ranges from being unemployed to $100,000. Same for the other group. Then, but the key difference is the hopefuls are trying to become pregnant. They're trying to start their families. They're trying to, they are hoping that it is a positive result. The fearfuls, however, probably made like a mistake last night, drank too much, something happened, but they are looking not to be pregnant. That is not something that they want to do. The hopefuls are obviously hoping for a positive result, whereas the fearfuls are hoping for a negative test result. And the hopefuls, and this is the most important part, like how do they psychologically perceive the product? The hopefuls see the test as something that may mark the start of a new phase in their lives, whereas the fearfuls view it as something that will bring them relief from uncertainty and quench their fears. So same product, same group of women, demographically, like situation wise also the same. However, their internal motivation for buying the product is very, very different. Now, this is basically what they came up with when they thought of how they would want to brand the product, where if for hopefuls versus for fearfuls. So as you can see over here, brand name, conceive, because obviously the women want to conceive. That is what they're hoping for. That's what they're expecting. That's what they want out of this product. Whereas fearfuls, very simple, you know, quick view. We do it fast, we do it easy. You don't have to worry about anything. The brand positioning, or like the brand statement of what they would like basically say to sell the product, is the simplest, most trusted way of knowing when your family will grow or begin. So again, it really resonates with the hopefuls' internal motivation for taking the test. Whereas fearfuls, a reliable source of peace of mind in 30 seconds. So again, you focus on something completely different. You don't focus on the idea of having a baby, you focus on basically getting it done, like getting it done as soon as possible. So over here, we have like a baby in the packaging, you know, playing more into the fantasy of having a kid. Whereas over here, you, no baby, no nothing, very clinical, very understated, just to the point and done. SKU position is stock keeping position. So in retail, when you go to the supermarket, you know, you might see the toilet papers and the cleaning products together, or like the pasta and the pasta sauce together. So where in the store do they stay? So for hopefuls, it is other home pregnancy tests, whereas for fearfuls, it is condoms, because you understand basically what kind of people are looking for these products. Then brand extension. So when they think about what they want to do in the future, you know, like what kind of products that they can create from this brand conceive, you think of ovulation testing, because you are going after the same women, the same demographic who want to basically have a child, versus fearfuls, which, you know, they might be looking for more, you know, like other things that they might want to test after having an irresponsible evening. So there are different price points over here as well, because they want really fast and quick, and they don't want to spend a lot of money on it. Obviously, they have cheaper, they have larger. Just for context, Widell decided to go with the quick view, I believe, because they were looking to extend, personally for their own brand, they were looking to extend it to other self-test stuff. So, and I think this opens a lot more opportunities up for them. So that is exactly what I want to say. So basically, when you put out a product in the market, when you as an artist, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as whatever, are looking to get out in the market and serve people, this is what you need to think about. You need to think about what your customers want, because like multiple types of people can want the same product, but why exactly do they want the product? What does it bring to them that other products that are within the same category do not? What your company does best, that is very, very important, especially for artists. Like, what is your story to tell? Why does it matter to you? Because I'm sure that if you are making art that you don't really personally like or believe in, or like aligns with your values, then it can be very exhausting. And then competition. Obviously, art is very, very subjective. However, it is worth knowing what other people are doing in the market, and if they are successfully marketing it, if they are not successfully marketing it. Because again, if you want to build a sustainable business, then these are some things that you have to consider. So I do this too a lot. So I'm very, very obsessed with TikTok. And a few years ago, like I think 2 years ago, there was this very interesting trend that I want to share with you. It's about fashion houses. I think luxury brands like fashion houses are one of the best things to look at when it comes to branding, because their price points are more or less the same. However, the reason why people pick and choose between them is because of the branding. So I'm going to play all the videos once, and then maybe you can tell in comment if you see any similarities between certain brands. Okay, that's one. Yes. Did anybody notice any patterns? Did you notice anything that might have to do with branding? I'm just gonna wait for like a second before continuing. Tell you. So basically, these fashion houses are very, very old. As you notice, these are three very different creators. They seem to have their own personal style. They have their own different physical features and so on and so forth. However, when they say, like, in fashion shows, basically the company that is like the brand that is showing the collection is the brand that basically dresses people who attend fashion shows. So as you can see over here, you can see certain similarities about these content creators' interpretation of what they might be wearing. So for Chanel, you can see like this old French classic chic silhouettes with like very structured coats and so on. For Versace, it's more black, it's more edgy. For Fendi, I believe it was more like loud, with like also the materials that they use more like fake leather or like the giant fur coats. So as you can see, they already have like this built-in perception about the types of clothes or designs that they can expect to wear from the brand, because the brands have consistently kind of made it their signature over time. Second. Yes, so this is another thing that I want to talk about. I think it's just going to reiterate my first point, which is basically, fashion houses have become masters at branding, because at those price points, like, they do not compete at a price. People who want to look for affordable stuff, they're not even in the picture over here. However, when they compete with each other, they basically try to grab different audiences who would be interested in different types of things, or like they would be more interested in presenting a certain vibe, or I don't know, like basically things that they would resonate with, things that are nothing to do with money or material. So when I said earlier that having a brand also defines your partnerships, this is also something that I want to show you. Like, I'm gonna show you two ads, one from Chanel and another one from Kenzo. The Kenzo one is very, very long, so I'm gonna cut that off short, but you can easily Google it. It's not a problem. But then I want to talk about the history of the brand itself and why these advertisements make so much sense. Okay. I'm just gonna pause it because this ad is a lot longer than I remember it to be. Now onto the Kenzo ad. Uh, so I'm gonna pause it right over there. Oh, okay. Um, so basically, I want to talk about, sorry, let me just stop it there. So basically, I want to talk about why this makes so much sense for both brands. Like, even though their price points and the products that they sell might be like, so they both sell shoes and luxury items, bags, all of that other stuff. The price points in which they sell them are also the same. However, like, this ad makes sense for Chanel because Chanel has a very like old French history. You know, they have like, they showed Paris over there. They are well known to like basically use a lot of good neutrals. Like, there was a lot of beige, there was a lot of white, there was a lot of like the classic Chanel silhouettes and colors. And they also partnered up with this very well-known actress, Keira Knightley, who has also a very, like, let's say, clean record, as well as you know, the basic old old, like, no no like beauty that's like more French. I don't know, maybe like more model-esque features than most, you know, like most brands today. But basically, it, on every level, from music to the actress to the, I don't know, to the setting in which this is done, it basically makes a lot of sense for Chanel because it is very much on par with everything that the brand has done over the past decades. Now for Kenzo, Kenzo is also a luxury brand. However, Kenzo is kind of like the weird little brother of you know, luxury brands. They're quite um eccentric as a brand, and the owner is sorry, the founder, whose name I cannot remember, is a Japanese man who was raised also in France. However, he has this very like wacky take on everything. And if you know, learn more about the brand, you learn, I mean, sorry, if you learn more about the ad, then you basically learn that the actress playing in there, she's actually a very well-known dancer. And, you know, like, it was directed by a very well-known director, Spike Lee. So there is not, it's not like we are missing talent in there. It's just, it is representing, accurately representing the vibe, like how the lady in the green dress does not really fit in with the setting. So she kind of makes it her own, the asymmetry of the dress, the weird facial expressions, the weird dance moves. You know, it's still fun like Enzo. However, it might not be viewed as traditionally, let's say, elegant as you know, most people perceive fashion brands to be. So there are a lot of different ways that companies themselves differentiate, from other brands. So there is the product itself. So like if you look at Apple, the introduction of the smartphone, or if you look at IKEA, the introduction of build your own furniture. There could be the founder's story. So obviously this is like the creators behind the brands. So I think this would be most relevant for you. I think you can, like, people really underestimate the value of personal branding. Um, and then there is always a unique selling point. So maybe interpreted for artists, it can be more about the materials that you use, the technique that you use, and all of that other stuff. I'm not gonna get into this because I see that we're running out of time. However, I would encourage you to Google who sent Nikki, Snooki a Chanel bag. Like, I would encourage you to Google that if you ever have the time. So, but you all are artists, I'm talking about branding for companies. Like, why does that matter? Like, who cares? Who gives a shit about this thing? So there are a lot of reasons why branding, or like working on branding your work, can be very, very beneficial for artists and businesses. So I've written like 2 lists over here. So for businesses, brand equity is a financial asset. So when you are selling your brand, if you are selling your company after like building it up to a certain amount, the goodwill, the reputation that comes from your brand is actually something that you can sell, apart from like just office buildings and chairs and computers and like all the other assets. The customers, of course, the customers deeply care about like their association with the company. Like if you don't have to look farther from like smartphones. Like people who are loyal to Apple are very, very loyal to Apple because of the brand and what it represents to them. Then it also defines the limits of the brand. So like, what partnerships would make sense, what partnership would not make sense, what advertisement or like music would make sense, what wouldn't make sense. Like all of that, it defines. It also informs future product design. So that would be like, we spoke about, conceive would go for ovulation testing, whereas quick view would go into more other different types of STD testing and stuff like that. And defines partnership. So that also I spoke about. For artists, working on your personal brand obviously increases your recognition, because if you have a brand that people can easily recognize, then it makes it easier for people to kind of remember you in their head. And when I mean recognition, it just doesn't mean like, oh, one time you see them somewhere. When I mean recognition, it means that they can see your art and they remember that it is from you. It builds trust, obviously. So, like if you are well known to create good art, and then, like, provide good service for your patrons, then obviously word of mouth goes around, and it makes more sense that more people would trust you because you already have a good amount of trust around your service. I think it also helps you stand out from the competition. So if you are recognized everywhere, if you have a certain thing that you're well known for, that people go after, that's the people sought after you, then you can really stand out from even this very, very subjective group of people. And then you can build a loyal follower base. People are drawn to you for certain reasons, and all of this leads to more income and therefore a more sustainable art career for you. Now, I think these are questions that you should ask yourself when you think about branding yourself. So these are only some of the smaller questions that I have written over here. Obviously, you can branding yourself, especially for something as personal as art, takes a lot of introspection, and everybody has a different story, everybody has a different idea, but these are the questions that I could come up with right now. So I think one question, very important question, and the most important question just in life in general is, what am I really about? So what is your art really, really about? What are your values? What exactly do you want reflected on the canvas or on the piece of paper? Are you trying to tell a story? What exactly are you trying to tell people? Who else is doing what I am doing? So this is like just gauging the competition, having an idea, or just being aware about how the artwork works, what other people are doing. Is it working for them? Is it not working for them? What is similar about them? What is original about my idea? And then, who is your ideal customer? I know that art is very introspective. However, if you want to create a service out of it, if you want to be an if you want to earn money from your art, then you have to think about who's going to buy your art. Like, what kind of house would they hang it in? You know, what kind of interior designs would it fit in? How much would they be willing to pay for it in general? And, you know, where do they hang out? So where do you find these people? Do they exist in TikTok? Do they exist on Reddit? Do they exist on victoryart.eu? Like, where would it be beneficial for me to, who would like partner up with like certain websites or this and that? Would it be beneficial for me to post on Instagram because they're actively searching certain hashtags on Instagram? And where is the line? At what point does your work stop being yours? Like, I understand that you are allowed to experiment with a lot of different art styles according to what you want at that moment, but also remember that there is a reason why people keep on coming to you, because you are well known for something. So this can be kind of a tricky line for artists. Now, I tried to think of an example for you about an artist who has done this well, and I Hi guys. So I had some technical issues in the last meeting and I am recording this in post. So I'm in Nepal right now, but I just wanted to finish up the last part of the presentation and then I can let you go. So as I was saying about branding, it's very important for artists to brand themselves or create this personal brand so audiences can recognize their work better, as well as, you know, have a certain expectation of quality standard art style from the artist. And one very good example that I found was our own Andrea Erhet. So Andrea describes herself to be a abstract expressionist art. She's a very talented artist, and this is what I found in her bio. Please look at the words that she uses to describe herself and her art style. So Andrea Erhet's ethereal paintings draw on her studies of art and art therapy practice, using intuition, expression, and gestures as tools for self-transformation. Each of Andrea's paintings follows the flow of energetic light and shade to create a balanced, a harmonious, and meditative whole. So I collected some of her paintings from over the years, so this is not all one collection. However, you can see what she is talking about. There is an ethereal essence. She plays with light and dark, you know, and the best part is that she actually does a lot of these live. So Andrea also has a lot, she basically leverages her expertise within art therapy to show to the audience in live performances how she does it. These are some of the paintings that she made during the exhibition that Victory Art did a few years ago. And this can also be added to her general list of services, you see. So she can build on her expertise as an art therapist, as well as the signature style that she has created, which you can see is consistent throughout all of her collections. So yeah, that's about it. I would really like to thank you for tolerating me throughout this entire presentation. I hope you were able to learn something from this. I really appreciate you being here. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.